Alright you guys, so if you guys watched my last video, I talked about the eibach lowering springs, and today I'm actually going to be installing them. And it's going to be a little rough because I'm alone and I am limited on tools right now. So if I struggle, you guys are going to struggle with me. So I just got this car jacked up. First step is I'm going to be taking off those wheels.
So I'm going to be starting with the springs in the rear first.
So the install on the rear springs, I actually had to put a jack underneath the differential so it can support it, because I gotta take off this sway bar and the bolts holding the whole rear end together. So there should only be two bolts that I need to take off. The one holding the sway bar and the right here, right on the shock. They're both 15mm sockets. Come on. Alright, one side is out. The eibach is a little bit bigger, but I'm pretty sure it compresses a lot more because the coil springs are like a lot more condensed right here comparing to how the stock springs are. So let's get these back on. Get these on. So this is how it looks when it's on. It has a really, it's a little bit of a basic finish, honestly. You can't even tell if it's OEM or not, which is also a good thing. So now I'm just gonna be putting on all the bolts and tightening everything back up because we're done with this install. And then we're gonna be going to the front. You saw that? This one. Okay. And the rear springs are done. Now time to just put the wheels on. So as of right now, I actually finished the rear Shelby. Not much of a difference right now, but I'm pretty sure they just need to settle in. So I'm gonna be starting the front, but first let me pop the hood and then jack up the car. Alright, so we just finished the rear install of the springs, and based off my knowledge for the fronts, I believe we just got to take off the rims and tires after jacking it up, of course, and then unbolting these top bolts and disassembling the whole system down there, and then removing the strut assembly, and then coming out here and using a spring compressor to compress the springs and take off the old spring and put on the new one. Alright, so I took off the wheels and tires off both sides and I lifted the car up. Now I just had to remove the shock by unbolting these two bolts and removing the line from the shock and removing this last bolt right here. And then this should slide right out after removing the bolts on the top. Alright, and I'll show you guys the process now. shock should be free. And then I'm gonna be taking this bolt off and then this tiny bolt off. Let me just see what size it is. Alright, so now that we got everything disconnected from here and everything, all the bolts out and this hanging, we just gotta take off these bolts and then slide it right out. Sure don't lose any bolts. Got it. And there we go. Old one out. Now time to go use the spring compressor. Got one side on. Time to get this side on. What the heck? This side. I don't know if I'm supposed to. Okay, it was a little hard to record the process, but using the spring compressors and a little bit of elbow grease, we were able to get the eibach onto the old shock. And then we're gonna do the same thing to the other one, and then I'm gonna show you guys how to reinstall these onto the Shelby. Alright, so I'm gonna show you guys how to install the new shock with the new spring on it. I'm gonna have to actually feed this with the bolts through the original holes. It's gonna be I recommend having 2 people for this because this is actually really heavy trying to lift it back up. Alright. This one's really heavy. Okay, gotta make sure it's like that. How's it looking, Alan? Oh, I almost had it. Alright, fine?
Yeah.
All of them?
Yeah.
Dang, that was a process. Ah, alright. So now we have to put all the old bolts on. I'm gonna start with these ones. Okay, which way did you say the bolts were on? Like this, the way that I'm putting them,
Yeah.
on the other side? Yeah? Like that?
Yeah.
Okay. This one. I'll put that bolt back on right now. And we'll just tighten up the bolts at the top. Okay. And everything is buttoned up. Yep. Now time to just put on the rims and tires, and then I'll show you guys how it looks. So right now, I finished the lowering of the car, but I'm gonna pull it out for you guys so you guys can see it in the sun and a couple little roller shots. But right now, I'm not getting in my car dirty, so I'll be right back. The installation process was really tedious. It was hard. I mean, even for somebody like me, I mean, I've never done it before on a car. I've always done work on semi-trucks, but overall, the Mustang is pretty flush. She doesn't look like a monster truck anymore. Thank you guys.